What's up, War Report family? Welcome back to Fireside with the War Report. Joining me, we got special guests, Luke Deal, and quarterbacks Holden Geriner and Robby Ashford. Guys, welcome to the Fire Pit. This is brought to you guys by Golden's Cast Iron. We cooked on their fire pit today. It was amazing. So big shout to Golden's Cast Iron for sponsoring this event. Also, I want to thank 2298 Vintage Butcher Shop for providing the food for tonight. We ate premium cuts of meat before we got started. Vintage did a great job. Chef Baldwin and his wife did a great job. So, guys, let's start the conversation off with something simple. Why football, right? Why football? What made you fall in love with football?
I'll start. I grew up in a football family. My dad was a high school football coach, as you know, and just grew up moving around, being the ball boy, just Friday nights, big T-shirts and McDonald's after games and all that. Just grew up loving it. I mean, Saturdays, Sundays, no matter whenever it was on or my dad was coaching, I grew up loving it. So
Wait, Greenville?
Greenwood,
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Is high school football big there?
It is. It's not as big as as my teammates let me know. It's not as big as Texas or Georgia, Florida,
or Alabama.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got some Alabama guys. But yeah, no, it's pretty big. And my dad actually coached in North Carolina too. So North Carolina, South Carolina, I was kind of all over the map.
Holden, you're from Savannah? Is it Savannah, Georgia?
Savannah, that's right.
Like, again, your dad. I talked to your pop, and he told me some stories about you coming up at Benedictine
Yes, sir.
Military College.
That's right.
That's interesting, right?
Very.
What's it like at a military high school?
So it's a little different than everybody thinks when they first hear military school. We did have to go to like a military class, if you will, twice a week, or we went every day, but we had to wear a uniform twice a week. And so that was, it was fine. My dad went there, both my brothers went there, so I knew that's where I was going. And we've always been known for athletics, stuff like that. So it was definitely different. For me, I didn't know any different because that's where my entire family had gone to high school. So I'd grown up seeing my brothers put on the military outfit. So I knew one day I was gonna have to do it too.
You had an older brother that was a quarterback, right?
That's right, I did. I
Okay.
had my middle brother. He actually started when I was a freshman in high school. That's his claim to fame, is he started over an SEC
Is
quarterback.
he better than you?
At that time, yes, he was better than me. Now, I don't think he
Now
is.
you're holding the crown.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right,
But yeah, so that's kind of where I come from.
Robby. Now you Hoover, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I mean they've got a very rich high school football culture there. Now, what was it like in there? Who was your high school coach?
Josh Niblett.
Yeah, what was it like at Hoover, just playing ball there, and with all the great football players that have gone through there? Was that a lot of pressure playing at Hoover?
I mean, yeah, because just Hoover and just anywhere I would go and I would say I'm from Hoover, everybody would be like, oh, two-a-days Hoover. Just everybody around just the country would know what Hoover is. And just definitely when I was coming up, I think we won like 7 state titles in probably 10 years, something like that. Something crazy. So I came in with high expectations. I only got to win one, but definitely just growing up, being around that talent and just seeing those guys come through, like being able to play with guys like George Pickens, like probably seen that crazy catch he made today.
Yeah.
But those are things I've seen literally since we were in middle school. Like those aren't things I haven't seen before. So it's cool to just see those things kind of just come together and just be at a school like that with just such big tradition and just everybody knows you. So we always had a target on our back. And then for me, it was kind of cool. I was only the second black quarterback in school history.
Okay.
So that definitely held a little bit of pressure on me, but it was definitely something that I feel like I liked. And just that was something I'm always a guy, like I love the pressure and love the adversity. So just having that was really fun, but just growing up in Hoover and playing football in Alabama, I mean, I'll tell people it's nothing like it. I mean, we always argue, but.
When did you know you loved football?
I'd probably say my first year playing when I was 6, because I was scoring like 5 touchdowns a game. and I thought I was Reggie Bush. I used to wear
He liked it because he was good.
He liked it because he was good. Yeah, okay.
I used to wear number 25. I used to think I was Reggie Bush. So, like, I used to want to be like him so bad. And I would score, like, 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns in the game. They would take me out. And I used to be like, nah, like, I got to be on the field. And that's when I was like, I actually like this. Like, I love to play this. And then it just...
Reggie he's probably one of the best college football players I've ever seen. So that was your idol. Holden, who was your football idol growing up?
Let's see. Growing up, I mean, like I said, I had 2 older brothers, and my dad was a coach when they were playing. So I mean, I was out there running around when I was 4 or 5 years old, just not even knowing what I was doing, just running around. But I would say as I got older, I started really taking it seriously, especially into high school, and started watching college NFL quarterbacks. People now that I look up to that I really like to watch are guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, those kind of names, Matthew Stafford. So, I mean, that's who I grew up watching and really like to kind of mold my game and character after them because I know they're always great guys on and off the field. So,
yeah. Luke, who's your football idol?
Well, you didn't introduce me as a former quarterback.
Are you a former quarterback?
High school quarterback.
I didn't know that.
We got all quarterbacks here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I
so
know I invited you for a reason.
That's right. So it works. But, yeah, growing up, loved Tim Tebow. I mean, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, I loved him. I mean, and honestly, I grew up a Clemson fan.
Huh. Well, that
so
makes sense, right? So
Taj Boyd, that team, even before that, you had C.J. Spiller, and I guess with Taj, you had Andre Ellington, and I can get into all that stuff, but yeah, probably Cam or Tim Tebow, Taj Boyd, those 3 guys. Those are my guys.
Look, we did a wide receiver Fireside. And these guys talked about what they like to listen to. And apparently there's a young boy epidemic on the team.
Oh, my God.
So I have to ask how you guys feel about young boy. Robbie's making faces.
Go ahead. Start it off, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to start it off.
I know Robbie's opinion.
Yeah, why be the GOAT?
There he goes.
Okay.
He's part of the
epidemic.
epidemic.
The GOAT.
I told you.
I mean, I listen to him. I'm more of a country guy.
Okay.
I like country, but I mean, when I'm trying to get hyped up, I don't mind listening to him.
Okay, so but what are you putting on before the game?
So actually,
I want to know this.
Early in high school, I used to be all into the rap, try to get super amped up for the game. But then once junior and senior year, I don't know what made me do it, but I switched to just listen to just whatever came, country music, whatever came on. I was just listening to whatever it was. I mean, country, rap, whatever.
Random shuffle.
Yeah, just random shuffle. I mean, because I don't know, for some reason I found that just listening to whatever just calms me down more, and just I still get amped up, but I mean I don't really have anything that I go to that just wires me for the game. I kind of just it's natural.
There's a lot of time too before a game where we're listening to music. I mean, people don't realize that we're at the hotel. And there are times where you're waiting for 20, 30 minutes, just sitting there trying to get focused. Some guys are over there everybody gets prepared different. So I see what you're saying. There are times throughout my game day experience where I'm listening to whatever just comes on. So
you guys all still got Beats by Tank?
We do. We do. I held on to mine, man. Those things are big money.
Really nice.
Those are probably the nicest pair of headphones I've ever had. So
yeah, I just copped the Apple joints.
I need some.
You spent that kind of money on
the AirPod Maxes.
Yeah, I heard. I need this guy here.
But I mean, I highly recommend giving them a shot, because once you turn on the noise cancellation, Apple, if you're listening, we accept all sponsorships. But the noise cancellation is amazing. Guys, kind of moving forward, elephant in the room, brand new coach. Hugh Freeze has come in. Robby, you are very familiar with Hugh Freeze, and there's some guys on the system who are familiar with him from recruiting when he was at Ole Miss. What is the biggest difference for you guys now that Hugh Freeze is the head coach from, the previous regime?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
So I think just the mentality Coach brings into us and just tries to instill in us, I feel like it's something that we were lacking last year, and just having guys bought in. I mean, it's hard to have a great team when not everybody's bought in and on the same accord. And that's something I feel like we really tried to hone in on, and just definitely just trying to create that brotherhood and that bond, just trying to get to know one another each better. But just those little things, because Luke hit it on the head one day, him and Peyton, and they were talking about knowing somebody else's why. And I mean, when you know somebody else's why, that's gonna make you go harder for them. And so we want to, as a team, just get to know each other and just get to know each other's why, because everybody's story is different. And when you know why your brother is doing this for a certain reason, you're gonna go harder for him, just like he's gonna go harder for you. And he's just instilled that in us. And I mean, he's just a fun coach to be around. He's about having fun, and that's something that we lacked. And you see the best teams in the country, they're having fun. So just getting back to that having fun, as childish as it might sound or whatever.
Yeah.
We're college athletes, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's about having fun. And
You touched on something that I want to get into with everybody here about the why. Now, Luke, you and I have shared a lot about what happened with your dad, and his struggles near the end. Camden Brown told us a story about his sister. And he wears a necklace with her chain with her picture on it, and he said sometimes during practice when he's struggling, Coy will come over and say, "We got to do this for little sis," and that was his why. Luke, Holden, I just kind of want to start with you.
Sure.
Your why, man. Like, what gets you going? Because there are a lot of things you do to train that suck, that are not fun to do, but you got to do them.
Right.
What gets you going to do those things?
So for me, my story might be a little different than other people's. I mean, I don't necessarily really have something in my past or a person or something like that. But my why is really just, one, because I love the game, I love playing, and I really love the relationships that I have with all my teammates. I mean, that's really one of the number one reasons is my why. And then also just not a ton of guys came out from my city. I mean, a lot of people say that, but I really take that to heart. Is Savannah was not really known for football, so I kind of want to put them on the map. And I know there's some guys below me that want to do the same thing, and I hope that I can lead the path for them. And then obviously just my family, moving forward. But like I said, I mean, I love being around my teammates and the relationships that come with that. I really learned that at a young age, being around my dad and him coaching everything. So
your dad was a coach?
He was. Well, just little league, so
Okay.
nothing major. But just like I said, just being around teammates. I mean, that's really what gets me going. Seeing everybody else go harder makes me want to go harder and make the team better.
Was there a competition between you and your older brother?
A little bit. I mean, we've always been extremely competitive in anything we do, especially me and my middle brother. So literally, if there's anything that I can beat him at, I want to do it. That's just how we grew up. So definitely.
You didn't beat him up for that spot, though.
No, I didn't. That's a good point. Well, I was a little different player back then, freshman year.
Yeah.
Robby, your why? Like, I've had conversations with all of you guys as folks, right? And as an athlete coming up, you were kind of just like better than everybody else growing up, right? Like faster. Your mom told me a story about the chicken legs in church.
Yeah, I used to run down the aisle.
Yeah, they knew you were going to be fast. Watching you run up and down the aisle at church, right? Like, what motivates you to hit that next level? I mean, you started almost every game last year at quarterback, right? You came in from Oregon. You got your shot. You got to start to be a starting quarterback in the SEC. Going into year two, what keeps you motivated?
So I think when I first started playing, it was really just for the love of the game. I just, like Holden said, just building those bonds with everybody. And once I got older, my mom really once I started, my mom had been sick for a while, like really sick. Does a great job of fighting. Not a lot of people can tell, but it's a lot of bad days with her. And she's definitely a reason. I mean, she gave life to me, so she's definitely somebody I just want to keep going out there and fighting for, because she tells me every day, just simple thing we always say is just, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And that just goes out there, just that simple, just saying right there, just lets me go out there and just know, like, okay, it's time to go to work. Like, once she tells me that, I'm good. And then another one would be my granddad. He passed away right before, I want to say a few weeks before I went to college. And He was one of my biggest supporters because I was his only grandson. It was 9 or 10 grandkids, and I was only boy. So he took me under his wing and I meant so much to him. He would always brag on me and be like, you know my boy, you know my boy. His big saying was just, that's my boy. And made a promise to him when I was young that I was going to make it to college, be D1, and I got to hold up the end of the bargain. He got to see me sign, but that was the last thing he got to see me do. So just going out there playing for him, knowing he's got that best seat in the house, and this is something that we talked about, and hopefully I can make it to where I'm playing on Sundays. But just for now, just knowing that I made it that step, and just knowing that he's looking down on me, just smiling, and just knowing that's something we talked about, just keeps me that motivation to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Luke, you think about your dad often?
I do.
When you're playing?
Yeah, I do. So, especially in season. Last year was my first season without him. Ever in a football setting, because like I said, he was my coach growing up and in high school and all that. So, but yeah, I feel like it helps me a lot of times to have a routine, right? I mean, Robbie, I'm sure you probably have a routine too. We have a lot of guys who've lost people in their life, and I feel like a lot of us have a routine. And last year was important for me to start off every game day with going over there and waving in the stands where he would sit. And that's something that I will continue to carry on. Sure, good days. There are days where we'll come back from practice and I'll immediately, my instinct is to call him. But obviously I can't do that. And then there are bad days whenever you want to rant. But like Robbie said, just having that solidarity that he's got the best seat in the house, that because toward the end it was pretty rough to the point where the quality of life just wasn't there. So he's not suffering, he's in a better place, and he's looking down just like your granddad's looking down. And so many people on our team have people watching over them, and that's something that is really important. I mean, this summer we've gotten so close. And I think that was a big focus for us because we had so many transfers, we had so many young guys come in. And I was just thinking at the beginning of the summer, like, man, how are we going to get these guys together? Like, how are we going to? Yeah. So I started off by sharing my story with some guys, and I've actually had some guys on the team come up to me and share theirs with me personally, which has been, it's just that kind of unity, that kind of team feel to where everybody kind of can just get whatever's off their chest.
You guys feel like Coach Hugh Freeze understands your why, like what's going on with each of you?
I think so. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that he's touched on for all of us is having a mindset of gratitude. Mm-hmm. And I think because we've talked about our whys in there, we've talked about what motivates you, why do you keep going, and I think just that idea of gratitude, that idea of coming in every day with a smile, that's something that's infectious. That's something that I've learned from him. Mm-hmm. He comes in every day with the same attitude. Yeah. Every team meeting, every time he's walking out there, whenever it's 110 degrees outside, we're about to run, and he gives us a speech, even though when we kind of are just wanting to go inside or whatever. But yeah. I mean, everything's always the same. So yeah, just that gracious attitude, that gratitude, that's something that's been infectious.
Mm-hmm. Guys, let's talk about the first time you hit the field. Holden, you got a shot. Yeah, versus Missouri. And life comes at you fast.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
Robbie, same thing, man. You've been playing football all your life, and then suddenly you got to grab your helmet and actually go in the game and play. Yeah. Talk about the moment that you go in when your number is called, and especially a quarterback. I mean, you guys are quarterbacks, right? So the whole spotlight's on you. The whole stadium is looking at you, and everybody expects you to play like you've been there already. Holden, tell us about that Missouri game when you went in. Sure. For I think it was like a series or two.
Yeah, a series and a half, something like that. I mean, yeah, that was definitely something that I had been looking forward to. I mean, obviously, I do not want anybody to get hurt, and unfortunately, Robbie had to come out of the game, so obviously I had to be ready to go in, and luckily I was. I mean, like you said, everybody expects you to go in there and play well. Even myself, I expected myself to go in there and, complete every pass and do everything perfectly, but I mean, that's not always the case. I mean, I didn't do everything perfectly or whatever it may have been, but I mean, just being able to go out there and, you know, just be in that stadium, I mean, that's always something I've dreamed of is playing college football. So to have my number called, whether it's starting or not, I don't really care. I mean, just being on the field was incredible. It was a really cool experience, and I definitely am looking forward to more of that.
Did you feel ready for the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something the coaches had come to me and said, look, like, you need to be ready to play this week regardless. So that was really when I knew earlier in the week I prepared myself for that moment, whether it was going to come or not. So I definitely mentally was definitely in the right place and definitely prepared.
Robbie, you started a lot of games last season. What about you, man? What about that moment you hit the field and it was real? You were the starting quarterback at Auburn University.
Yeah, kind of found out that after that Penn State game, I talked to Keyshawn and them. And kind of when I got off the phone, like, it didn't even feel real. Like, I was kind of just, like, sitting there, like, I'm actually finna start. Like, I'm about to start a college game. And just what I went through at my past school, just from going to a spot to where I was almost about to quit football, just give it up completely,
Really?
just go to baseball.
Did you fall out of love with the game, or was
I had a bad experience out there. But yeah, so just to see kind of just how far I've come, and just in that moment, it just felt surreal. And then it was kind of hard for me to sleep on that Friday, the day before. I was kind of, I was sleeping. I was in and out of sleep because I'm like, I was just so excited. It wasn't that I was nervous. I was just like, I keep waiting. I'm like, oh, what time is it? Because I'm just hoping it's about 7 o'clock. So we were at breakfast. I'm like, so when that time came, I was kind of putting myself in a different mindset, and it's just like, it's go time. And then from there, you just let the rest handle itself. I'd definitely say probably that first play, you know, you have a little nerves.
Yeah.
Because it's just definitely first play, first start. It's like, ooh. And then once that first play is out the way, then it's just
Does the coach, did they call plays with that in mind for quarterbacks? Like, okay, let's ease them in. So give them a handoff.
Yeah. I mean,
Surely they would.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends, I feel like.
I don't know, but if I'm sitting there, I want to throw a shot immediately. Like,
yeah, I'm a guy.
These guys just let it rip,
first,
man. Who cares? You know? That's what I want.
Wait, was your first play a pass? Did you throw on your first play?
The first play was like we sent the tight end in motion, and I tossed it to him, so it counted as a pass, but it was like a jet sweep type of thing.
Yo, it's crazy, right? Like that you remember everything about that first play.
Yep.
And when the moment comes, your mind just records the feeling.
Yep.
Right? Do you guys still get butterflies before a game? Is nervousness a real thing?
I don't get nervous before a game. I do kind of zone out for a second when I see the crowd. I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. But I was definitely nervous my first game. But
yeah, Robbie, man. I mean, again, nerves. At what point do the nerves go away?
I think.
How many starts in?
So my first start, I wouldn't even say I was as nervous for my first start, because it was at home, as I was my first road start. I feel like my first road start, I could genuinely sit here and I was definitely a little nervous before. I mean, you're going in, you're playing #1 team in the country. You never played in the actual road game, and you come into that environment. So it kind of shook me. Just like Luke said, you looking like, oh my gosh, like I'm used to our fans, but now I got to go to a fan base that is screaming their lungs out when we're on offense compared to being quiet when we're on offense. So
barking their lungs out.
Yeah, barking their lungs out. So that one definitely, I'd probably say that one had me nervous.
Yeah.
But I say good butterflies. Like, it's never a bad nervous, I feel like. Definitely now, just since I've been through a season, I feel like once we got later in, it was just good butterflies, just excitement. I mean, just ready for the game to start.
Yeah. Is there a game that you guys have circled this season as a revenge game?
You know the answer. Everybody needs to say, which is true. We got to play every game the same way. Yeah, it starts with UMass, but I can guarantee you there's one circled for me. There's two.
Two circled for me.
I hope we talking about the same one.
my last ride, man. It's 2 circled for me.
Okay, so I mean, Alabama is like an obvious one.
Yep.
But LSU was a close game last year. That
Yeah, I
kinda
need
got away
that
from you
one
guys
back. That was on my birthday.
and this might be they come out of the rotation after this year.
It's the last one.
Yeah, so in 2024, Auburn doesn't play LSU. Is that the one,
weird.
or Arkansas? Or what do you guys got circled?
We got to beat Georgia.
Got to be Georgia.
Got to beat Georgia. Yep.
Defending
I haven't
national
done it.
champs?
I haven't done it since I've been here.
Is there being from Savannah? Is that like a thing? Like, do you want to beat them extra just because you're from the state of Georgia?
I do, yes, especially since that's where most of my family went to school. I'm
really?
kind of the outlier. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely am circling that one for us to be on top.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I disagree with this, but my wife, she grew up in the Atlanta area and moved down here in high school, but she hates Georgia worse than she hates Bama.
Really?
Yeah, no, like not even close. And I'm like, I don't agree with that, but
Yeah, back-to-back national championships tends to make them more aggressive in their obnoxiousness.
yeah,
But
sure.
you guys have this is the last hurrah of the SEC as we know it, right? Divisions are going away next year, right? Luke, is this your last season?
This is my last
This your
season.
last season?
Yep, last hurrah.
This is
My
Luke's last hurrah.
Yes, sir.
But presumably you guys may be playing football after this year, right? In college. Let's talk goals here for a second. Obviously, there can be only one starting quarterback, and it's awesome that we have 2 quarterbacks here right now to talk about that. But how do you guys drive and push each other in practice? I mean, you guys are fairly close,
Absolutely.
right, and have a great relationship.
Definitely.
But there can only be one quarterback that goes out there, and obviously both of you guys want to be that guy. What's that like, and then how do you guys motivate each other in practice and stay friends and teammates?
Sure. I mean, like you said, there can only be one guy playing. So at the end of the day, what I have come to learn in the past year and a half of being here is just, if you're not having fun and you don't have good relationships, then I mean it's not really the best situation. So I just kind of try to brighten everybody up in the room, bring everybody together, make everybody laugh. But at the end of the day, I mean you're here to win games. So if I do something bad in practice or do something wrong, I want him, and he will, and all the other quarterbacks will tell me what I did wrong and help me learn from that. And I'll do the same for him. And I think that is something that is important, especially in practice, watching film, whatever it may be. Just telling them what they did wrong or what they did good. I mean, everybody likes good feedback too. So I think that's something that's important, at least coming from me. So
Did you learn anything getting to throw on pro day with Cam Newton? What was that like?
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, everybody always asked me if I was nervous, and I like to say I wasn't.
You looked good out there.
He didn't look
man.
nervous,
Yeah,
did
he
he?
didn't look nervous at
I
all.
mean,
He was slinging it.
I was just like, you know what? Really, I mean, realistically, what do I have to lose? I mean, obviously, there's NFL scouts out there, and I didn't want to,
Nothing to lose.
look
Just
bad,
the people who decide my
look bad in
future.
front of
Right, sure.
them. But I mean, for me, that was just something that I was just out there having fun. I mean, it was awesome to throw with Cam, and I've been around him a little bit in my past, but just being out there throwing with Tank and Shank and Shed and all those other guys was really awesome.
The throw that he made where he doubled back and threw it across his body on the run 60 yards or something like that. How hard is that to do as a quarterback? Robby, did you see that play?
Yeah, I was there.
How hard is that to do?
It's definitely, at least in the modern day, you see a lot more guys doing it. But I mean, that running around and running left and throwing far to your right is something that's definitely more challenging. Because it's always across your body and all this. So
They teach you not to do that. Though,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
They teach you
Supposed
not
to stay in the pocket.
Right. That's what I like to do.
Robbie,
You don't like staying, do you? You like taking off a
I
little bit?
like staying in the pocket.
Yeah. You like it, and then whenever you
But
get
when
design runs,
it's time
it's time to go. It's time to go,
it's time
right?
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of go time, you had a moment in the game where you decided you were going to run down the field and throw a block.
Oh, that was a good one. What game was that?
Mercy.
Mercer? Yeah, it was game one.
It was
Right.
the first play out the delay.
Did you hurt your shoulder on that play?
Nah. When I hurt my shoulder, everybody thinks it was from throwing that block against Missouri, but I'd heard it the drive before.
Okay.
Around sideline, and God made a good play. And I just came straight down, and it was just fell boom, just flat on it. Got up, and I was like, ooh, like, okay. Started running, I was like, oh, yeah, something hurting, like. And so I'm trying to get out there and get looked at, and they're starting to look at me, and we get a 3 and out just like that. So I'm like, all right, I'll worry about it later. We ran about like 3 plays. I threw like a 5-yard out to Shank, and that's when I was like, oh God, like, gotta go get this looked at. Then came through the block, but the block isn't what hurt. It was just I had been in so much pain just from that little injury.
From before.
Yeah, and then that's when I looked at the sideline, and I think he seen my face and just kind of my body, like, just how I was reacting. He was like, yeah, like, I gotta go in.
Things started getting real.
I got the flow. I'm about to pull up. His wishful curves. And I've been waiting so long. Now I gotta resurface. Hey, everybody talk stop. All the bread that we burning. Cause I've been feeling cool talk. I've been fucking cool talk. Turn up.
Okay, so yeah, you throw a block. You don't hurt your shoulder on that play, but you're saying it was actually before that.
Yeah, the drive
that
before
you
that.
actually got hurt. And you didn't complain about the shoulder at all. You played most of the season hurt, and a lot of people didn't realize that you were playing most of the season hurt. What has your off-season recovery been like? And, do you feel like you're at 100% going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, just going through that last year. I mean, Holden could attest. He could probably tell. I was in some pain a lot of days. I mean, I'm coming in there. I used to come in there with the wrap, but I used to always have a 10 unit or something on me, so I'm in the meeting room just shaking. Like, that was kind of our little thing. Like, we knew I was gonna come in there either with like little vibrating massage thing on, or
big old thing on the shoulder.
But yeah, I mean, it was something I just felt like I couldn't tell. I didn't want anybody to know because, I mean, team knows that they're gunning for it. But those guys in the locker room and just on our team, they helped me because I feel like they knew I was going through a lot, just pain-wise. I mean, when you got a group of brothers around you, it shows a lot, and just that's what gave me the motivation to just do whatever it could, be in rehab, to just get myself to a spot to where I could play. And kind of got toward the end of the season where I wasn't even able to throw at practice, but it was like I got to do whatever I can to be good for Saturdays. So just going through that, I mean, that taught me a lot, and now it just taught me just the importance even more of just taking care of my body. So that was just my biggest thing, just get healthy. But now I've been feeling good, feeling really good, just feel like the ball's coming out better, and feel like I don't have this hitch in my throw anymore from when my shoulder was messed up, so everything just feels more fluid and just clean. So that's definitely been good. I mean, I feel like nobody's got to see me just play healthy. I mean, so hopefully I feel like it'll be a different story this season. So
playing through injury is such an interesting thing for football players. Holden, you got your first offer after going through a camp on like a busted ankle or something.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I want to think back. So we're, I think it was, I can't remember what year it was, but I do remember we were in summer workouts in high school, and I think they were building the turf field at the high school or something. And so we were running on like this little side field. It had tree roots growing in it and all this stuff. I mean, so we were running, we were doing like this little, I can't remember what it was called, but I was taking a turn and I stepped on like a rock or something and just collapsed. I mean, I like straight on my ankle, like I knew like I couldn't even walk off the field. I got to hobble off. And that was on like a Thursday or something. And I knew that coming up weekend that I was gonna be going to Florida State, Alabama, and a couple other places, just making that trip for some camps. So I was devastated. I mean, I was so mad that I had hurt myself going into this week when I had no offers or anything. But I had some people that talked some wisdom into me and some positive things, and just ended up getting a boot and still made the trip. So go down to Tallahassee, and I mean, the trainer, I can't remember his name, but I met the trainer, and he was an amazing guy. He taped my ankle up inside my sock and outside my shoe. So I mean, I couldn't even really move my ankle. I mean, I was just out there basically on one foot, but I mean, could still put pressure on it, and ended up having a good camp. I mean, it was a good camp. I mean, everybody was talking, but after the camp, me and one of the dudes I was there with, we were kind of just tossing the ball around. He was in the back of the end zone, and I was just out on like the 20 or something, and I throw it from like the 20 and hit the goalpost. And Willie Taggart at the time was the head coach.
That's right.
He pulls up in the golf cart and he's like, "Dang man, nice throw! Like, hit it again." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Throw it and hit it again." So I was like, "All right." So I threw it from the 20, hit it again. He reaches out his hand and is like, "Congratulations, you're in your first scholarship offer."
Wow.
And I mean, I was blown away. Like, it was first offer. I was devastated because I was like, I can't go and perform. I got a bum ankle, all this stuff. But I was just in awe. When my dad was there with me, so obviously he saw everything. Went and called my mom. I mean, it was an awesome moment.
You hit the goalpost from the 20 twice in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
Only the 20.
I know. now looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have been further than that. But I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it is impressive. Have you had to play through injury, Luke?
I have. So my first day on campus, I don't know if I've told you this or if you know this, but my first day on campus back in December 2018, I tore my ACL.
A long time ago.
Yeah, back in my day.
Oh, geez.
Tore my ACL first day, first play ever at Auburn. So came down, little corner route, came down with it and tore it.
Ugh.
So I was able to play in 4 games still with my red shirt in the 2019 season.
Okay.
So I rehabbed back and got back. So I was in one of those big old Don Joy braces that you see the O-linemen wear. I was in one of those, and I played with that my whole freshman year. So, I mean, knee was sore. It bothered me, but they said it was good to play on, so I played on it. And in high school, I told you I was a quarterback. I actually had some bone spurs and some elbow problems. So I put on a brace, figured out pretty quick I couldn't throw with a brace on.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I moved to tight end for a couple games and then started going to some camps as tight end, and that's how I actually got my offers because I was just going to play quarterback and defensive end. But so yeah, I played through a few and then a few minor ones over the years. I mean,
ACL is like the toughest injury you can have. Like, did you have an ACL injury?
No, I broke my foot.
It was your foot. Okay. Yeah. What's the rehab like for these leg injuries?
so ACL usually about 7 to 9 months. I came back, I think around 9.
Okay.
I know Will Hastings, some of the guys that had it that were on that team before me, they came back a little earlier, and I just wanted to come back and make sure that everything was good. And thankfully, I was able to still play in 4 games that year, which was cool.
How quickly can you come back from a foot injury? Like,
So when I broke mine, it was during the season of my senior year. So I was kind of in a boat to where like I was kind of rushing back to get back for playoffs. So I had the same doctor that it did Jalen Hurts, and two was same little deal that they had, and I got put on their plan. So I think normally it would have been about a 4-month recovery time,
Okay.
and I was back in 2.
wow.
I definitely wasn't 100%, but I was back enough to play. But I think if I would look back on it now, I probably would have just sat out because it was probably the dumbest thing I could have did. But
Came back too fast.
yeah, I mean, it's the foot. Like anything lower body, I feel like that just
Lower body's nothing to play with.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Definitely not.
It's brutal.
All right. So we got a South Carolina guy, we got a Savannah guy, and we got a Birmingham-ish guy, right?
Oh, don't do ish.
right. Or Birmingham. We got a Birmingham guy. You guys
Lived
are
in
in
Hoover.
Auburn, Alabama now. It's the weekend, and you're looking for something to do. What are you guys doing? What's Robby Ashford?
We're starting on that
you
end.
do.
We're starting on
Robby
that
Ashford
end.
doing on the
Yeah,
weekend?
What do you
go
do?
first.
I don't know.
Me,
They're
I
not
like
gonna.
sitting
They're
in
not
the
going to hear
crib.
mine. Mine's boring.
I like sitting
You're
in the house.
married.
I'm married.
Yeah, right. So we know
I
what
don't
you're
do
doing.
anything. I'm
Yeah.
out.
I like to sit in the house. Only way I'm doing something with the guys is if they say something. Like
Sunday
that's
night
the only
dinner.
way.
Okay, so they're dragging
That's-
you out of the house.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. They're dragging me out the house. If it was up to me every day, I'm sitting in the house minding my own business, watching right now watching Suits. So
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
says that
listen,
show's good.
Great show.
Yeah.
You gotta
Suits,
watch it.
Suits is amazing.
Is it really?
Gotta watch
Yeah.
it's a good show.
Yeah, producers of Suits, if you're watching, we accept Suits
Yes,
sponsorships.
absolutely.
We do.
Yeah.
I just discovered Suits
Everybody
like
says it's
like
good.
5
Dude,
months ago, and
you
then
need to watch it.
I binge watched it.
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
great.
I'm only on season 1.
yeah. After Mike left, it went a little downhill.
Yeah.
But yeah, Suits is legit.
You
So
need
we're,
to
so
check
we're
it
seeing that. So we're Netflixing. We're
Netflix.
Netflixing it.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are doing on Friday.
Unless I pulled Robbie out of the house the other day. He went on down to Opelika.
All right,
Yeah.
what's in Opelika?
My house.
House.
That's it. That's
Sunday
about it.
dinner.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. I mean, I'll cook something up nice, or
Okay.
usually the wife cooks it up. I don't.
Have you
really
guys
cook
heard of the
anything.
Rage Room?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Opelika?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
they're opening one in Opelika.
Yeah, right
And
across
you can
from the
just
Piggly
go
Wiggly.
in and break shit.
Yeah, you
That's the
can.
whole- That's the whole business model.
Yeah,
go.
my mom did one like sometime with her school or something. They had them over there. They said it's really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it just gets so much frustration.
Oh
out,
yeah, no
probably.
doubt.
yeah,
Relief, yeah.
yeah. Rage Room in Opelika. Rage Room, if you're watching, guys.
Bring the Auburn football team.
Yes.
Let's talk style here for a second, right? The guys told me that Coy Moore was the most fashionable guy on the team. Robbie, I've seen you. I feel like Robbie's the team pretty boy, is he not?
No,
he thinks he
no,
is.
no,
for sure.
no,
He thinks
no.
he
Let's
is.
not even get into that. No.
Yeah.
Who's the team pretty boy?
Micah
Micah?
Riley Booker or,
Micah.
or Cameron Stutz. If
Cam
you're hearing
Stutz
this,
is-
the
There you go.
two
Cam
light
Stutz.
skins on the team are the real pretty
Oh,
boys.
man.
Pretty boys.
Okay.
But they love to say it's me because they're just embarrassed to say it's them.
Okay.
So you're
All right.
embarrassed to say it's you?
No, it's not me. though.
Well.
Sean Jackson too.
Oh yeah, go on.
Lil
Snow
Moosey.
Jackson.
Okay. All right. I mean, Holden, you got the 80s porn stash thing going on here. Let's talk about that for a second. What's going on here? What is this?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my buddies, he was like, he had one. He was like, dude, grow your stash out. Or grow your, well, people always, I mean, I had a beard back last fall, and I didn't want a beard in the summer, too hot. So he was like, dude, grow your mustache out. I was like, why? Like, I would look terrible. Somehow he convinced me, and I did it. I was like, all right, whatever. And the longer I've had it, the more it's growing on me. So
It's suits.
the longer I
Like,
It looks good.
Yeah,
Longer I
When you
keep
walked
it.
up, I
Bad
was
at
like,
all.
when did he grow a mustache?
Yeah.
Like when you see him every day, you're like, okay, it kind of fits.
Well, yeah, I mean, people say that it doesn't look bad. So I was like,
Did
you know.
people notice you growing it, or was it
Oh,
just
yeah.
like
I noticed it.
Oh,
you
we
noticed?
noticed
Yeah.
it.
Did they see
Oh,
the
yeah.
process? You saw the process?
No,
yeah,
he
the
came in the
process
was-
meeting room after getting the haircut.
Best
and
part.
It was just a mustache.
You know, like that awkward stage every time
Yes.
your hair
In
grows.
between.
It's horrible.
Yeah, luckily we're past that stage.
Oh yeah.
Where do you get your hair done around here? Do you have to go back to
One of my
Birmingham for that?
friends just does it. So just get her to come to the house, do it. Real. Well, I wouldn't say it's quick because I do have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Retwist.
Yeah.
That's-
Real
How long?
process.
How long does it take?
About 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, you had the Odell Beckham thing going
This
on
is
here.
quick.
You got-
Yeah, I used to have
Yeah,
that.
right. Is it different with the
Got
helmet
that
on with the
buzz.
hair like that?
Yeah, it's easier to put my helmet on and stuff than when I had the hair.
Okay.
Because I mean it's just not as high. And I don't know, it just kind of just grew out on me. I was just like, I've had this for a while. Let me try something new. My hair started getting long. I was just like, let me twist it.
All right.
And-
Fair enough.
Please don't go back to the
Nah,
Rogers
I
thing.
ain't going back.
The little box
I ain't
thing,
going
little
back.
shave. Man.
I ain't going back.
Somebody pulled up some old high school pictures of all of us last year.
Oh my
Oh, God.
That was embarrassing.
Robbie, you sent me a picture of you and Stidham
Yeah,
when you were 14. You were 14,
yeah.
talking to
correct.
Jared Stidham at the complex, I think. Right?
It was literally on this day
Who
too.
was that young?
Yeah. What was the story behind
Yeah.
that picture?
I was just on a visit.
Excuse me.
I think it was like second day of fall camp, young. And at the time, like, I seen Jared before. I'm like, bro, cold. Like, so then I got a chance to meet him. And I was really just looking. I went to my camera roll today. And you know how the memories pop up?
Yeah.
And it popped up, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, here I was 14, and then I'm looking like, I remember when I was like looking up to a guy like Jared, and it's like, now I'm wearing that AU. So like, I was like, man, that's crazy. Just to kind of see how all that came to the light. I mean, it's kind of cool to see it as how it popped up, though. So.
Did you guys always know that you wanted to be Auburn Tigers?
I did not.
Nor did I.
No,
I did.
Like I said, I wanted to be.
Georgia wanted you, right?
Well, that's where both my parents and my brothers all went. So
Okay.
yeah, but
I wanted to be. Yeah, I had the
your first
opportunity.
visit was to Clemson.
I had an opportunity to go to Clemson. I grew up loving Clemson.
Yeah.
Kind of everybody expected me to go to Clemson. I think that might have been part of the reason why I didn't.
Okay.
Just be a little different. I don't know. Like in my town, it's kind of like, oh, if you get offered from Clemson, you're going to Clemson. Like it just period. And I still, I mean, I got a lot of good friends over there, but I know for a fact, like I just was drawn to Auburn whenever I went on a visit. Yeah. So it changed a little bit during recruiting.
Guys, we ate a lot of great food before we started, cooked on a Golden's cast iron fire pit cooking system. Definitely want to thank Golden's Cast Iron for sponsoring this and getting us all together here today. It's the night before the game, and you got to eat something, right? What are you guys throwing on a Golden's Cast Iron grill?
Oh man,
What's your pregame food?
You want me to go?
go for it.
I love a steak before the game. I love a steak, and then I'll usually get some kind of carb, like a rice or a spaghetti or something. I mean, they always got that kind of stuff in the hotel too. So just something to carb up, and then I love a steak. I'll even eat a steak if they've got them for breakfast. Like even if we got them for breakfast or something for like a early 11 o'clock kickoff, I'll eat a steak. I love.
They don't structure it for you guys?
They do.
They
do, but it depends on the kickoff time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just move everything up for the 11 o'clock games. Like we'll have pregame meal at what, like
8.
yeah, like 7:30 or 8, something like that. Wake up calls at like 6:30,
Okay.
and it's like you wake up and you're like, all right, here's
Eating
your
steak.
Here's your steak.
7 a.m.
But I'll eat it. I love it.
What about you guys? What are you eating before the game?
Pre-game, I mean, like Friday night before the game, I'm the same way, eat a steak. Last year, I remember I would always get like a steak. I think it had like some Alfredo or something, and then they had some good mac and cheese. Love mac and cheese.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
like you said, carb up. Maybe throw a little salad in there if they have that. But
Healthy guy.
He's lying.
The steaks weren't as good as the ones we had tonight, though.
No,
They're good, but they weren't that
You got to
good.
get your nutrition if you're going to grow the stash. It needs vitamins.
No
What about
doubt.
Mine, I'm more of a salmon guy. I'm more of a
Really?
salmon guy.
Yeah.
I'm
There's a lot of salmon guys on the team. They like that salmon.
right.
So I don't know what it's
Good
just
call.
always like you just give me a good piece of salmon, like I'll eat it every time. But I'll go like salmon, mac and cheese normally good, like Holden said. Few chicken tenders. Chicken tenders normally fire. And then I'll get like some shrimp and maybe just a few Hawaiian rolls. Call it a day.
Okay. All right.
Real simple. I'll put some greens on there though, some type of
gotta have some
greens. Don't
Not
do
a
that.
salad.
Green beans, whatever they may be,
Yeah, anything.
Guys, let's close out talking about expectations for the season. Let's close out on football. At media days, the media voted, right? Not a lot of high expectations for Auburn in Hugh Freeze's first year as coach.
Sure.
I personally feel like there's a lot of talent, slept-on talent on this team. They went out and they got a bunch of old linemen, and there are over half of this roster now is constructed from guys either from high school or the portal,
Yeah.
right, in year one. What do you feel like the ceiling for you guys this season is, and what do you hope to accomplish as a team this year?
Yeah, I think that our ceiling is extremely high, although other people may not think that, and I think that's kind of a positive for us too, because historically, Auburn's been good whenever the expectations are low. Whenever you lay in the weeds, people don't think about you that much. Okay, we're worried about Bama, we're worried about Georgia, we're worried about these guys, I mean, there were the really good Auburn teams a lot of times were followed up by some of the worst Auburn teams.
Yeah.
And we obviously hit a wall last year, but I think this team can be so good.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest part for us this summer was, like we were saying, just building relationships with people and getting to know people, because that's the biggest thing. We've got so many transfers.
Yeah.
We got such a good transfer class. What? And it was like one of the top
Fourth?
classes
Yeah, it
in
was
the
like
nation.
it was like second or third.
Second, yeah. I mean, we have talent. I mean, and you see all these recruits we're starting to get. We have talent, and I think the ceiling's extremely high. But it's just embracing the role of kind of laying in the weeds and just working on us and being a tight knit team. I think that's going to be huge for us, man. I'm excited for it.
For you guys, in terms of expectations, right? Quarterbacks are expected to be leaders, right? So leadership is not optional if you're a quarterback. You've got to go out there and lead. You know, as leaders on the team, you know, where are you setting expectations for your teammates this season? Are you saying, hey, we can go out and win this? Is it just focus on one game at a time? Like, what's the message?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy who I like to set high expectations, not only for myself, but, you know, for whatever team I'm playing on. So, I mean, I feel confident that we can go out there and win every single game and win the national championship. I mean, that's just the kind of guy I am. I think we can win every single game. And so that's kind of just something I'm relaying to the guys. Just, I mean, you got to be confident, first of all. I mean, that's something that I have learned and like to tell other people is just you got to be confident and have fun while you're doing it, though. But like you said, yeah, just telling them that I feel confident that we can win every game. I mean, like Luke said, we're getting all these recruits. We had a phenomenal summer. Everybody came together, I think, really well. I mean, all the transfers and everything. So I think the team is definitely in a really good place right now. And I mean, I'm excited to see how well we do. And I really think that we're going to surprise some people for sure.
Robbie, what's the expectation this year, particularly for you? Because again, you started so many games last season. You come in. Luke is here with us, former quarterback, but obviously Peyton Thorne has joined this quarterback room. You know, how are you guys setting expectations for the season, and you know, how do you plan to build on what you did last season, even to be a better leader and a better quarterback?
Yeah. So just like Luke said, I feel like our ceiling is extremely high, and what Holden said, I feel like we go out there and win every game. But just being in that 1-0 mindset, I mean, that's just, I feel like, how we have to come, because we can't overlook any team, but I do feel like we have a great team, a really, really talented team that a lot of people think isn't talented, but like Luke, you love that. I mean, you love being in those where everybody thinks, oh, they're not going to do anything, boom. Like, okay, we'll let y'all think that. We're going to keep doing what we're doing and just let the work show. I mean, it's all going to come to the light. But this team, I feel like this team has a chance to flip the books and just potentially be one of the greatest teams in Auburn history. That's how I genuinely feel. If we do what we need to do, if we all do our job, everybody just does like we said, our 111 on the field. Do your 111. I feel like this could be one of the greatest things Auburn's ever seen, and it would just be definitely just being the start of a new era, a new coach, a new staff, and just a whole new just outlook of Auburn football. We have the potential to set that foundation and set it early and set it good to where it's not where you got to keep trying to start it from the ground up. We know that we have a chance to be able to start it from day one and just keep it pushing and build Auburn back to what we all grew up to know Auburn being. And I know every one of us wants to be a part of that. Everybody on this team, transfers, they didn't come here if they didn't want to be a part of that. So it's definitely good, but the expectations for this team, I feel like, are really high, but we just got to stay level-headed and just keep going in one day at a time. And then just for me, I do feel like at times I wasn't the leader I needed to be, and I felt like last year I didn't have anybody until Coach Lack became the coach that I felt like I could go to and just ask. And I was just say I didn't know there were so many qualities of being a leader that I didn't know and that I'm still learning. But just to see how I've grown just from then until now, I feel like I've grown in a good aspect. And it's just how can I continue to just keep coming out and trying to become a better leader every day, just listening to guys, their input, just what do they see, because as a leader, you got to be able to understand everybody and relate to everybody. So just trying to be there for everybody, just through the good and through the bad, and just trying to get to know them, because when it's time to talk, you don't want to be that type of guy where he's just talking to talk. People know it's coming from a good place in your heart, and it's not just he's just talking.
Right.
So that's really been big, and definitely just seeing everybody just grow up. I feel like that's been big. Like watching Holden grow up. I mean, I watched him come in as a true freshman,
Young
like
pup.
as a true freshman. Just to
Came
see,
in without a mustache. And
Yeah,
Now he's got one.
and just to see just like how much he's grown just already, and I'm excited for him because I know he's gonna be a stud, and competing with him has been great. I mean, we got a good relationship. We can always joke around and everything. So it's been good to just see those type of things just transpire, because it's effective, it's infectious, and just spreads throughout the whole locker room, the whole team. I feel like.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, I know everybody's looking forward to seeing what you guys do on the field this year. There's a lot of excitement around Auburn football right now. Recruiting, obviously, some big names came in with recruiting. But there's some guys who are already on this team who, you guys are all big names in your own right coming in. So seeing it come together this fall, I think is going to be exciting for a lot of people. Wishing you guys luck, and hopefully we're sitting around the fire pit talking about the many successes that you guys have
great. Yep.
after
That's
the
the
season.
plan.
Yeah, we talk. I mean, we talk
doubt.
about guys, people who don't really give us a shot right now. But I think, like you said, the Auburn family. There's a lot of buzz around what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Auburn family is always behind us, and definitely right now, I can feel there's a certain attitude around Auburn that people are like just ready to roll.
Yeah.
I feel that. I don't know if y'all feel that, but we
agree.
definitely feel like everybody's excited to go and has some faith in this team. So I'm ready to roll.
I think we could all say just to the Auburn family, get ready. It's gonna be fun.
All
It's gonna
right.
be fun. Get ready.
All right, these guys say get your popcorn. I want to thank Golden's Cast Iron for sponsoring Fireside with the War Report. Also want to thank 2298 Vintage for all the food that they provided for this. This was an amazing time. Luke Deal, Holden Geriner, Robby Ashford, thanks for joining us, Fireside by the War Report, man. And we hope to have you guys back to talk a little bit more Auburn football, man, in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
Bring them up.